Just a heads up, throughout this video when I talk about all these new skills that got leaked into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, they are mostly referencing to this data mine right here, where this data mine basically confirms that in May and June we're going to be getting these 4 different events. We're going to be getting a tag duel event, we're going to be getting a Lumis and Umbra event, we're going to be getting a Dark Signer Kira event, and a Yami Bakura event throughout the, the next couple of months in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Just want to put this segment in the video at the start because I forgot to record this when I was, recording my video originally, so here you go. Enjoy the video. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leaks. And in today's video, we have a long discussion video talking about some of these leaks because we're going to be talking about a bunch of new character skills that got leaked in the past update for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. A lot of these skills that we're going to be talking about talk about all sorts of things. We're going to be talking about Lumis and Umbra coming into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links because some of these skills relate to those characters. We're going to talk about Chaz having a new skill for Armed Dragon. We're going to talk about Bakura having some new skills for Zork and a possible new event for, tabletop RPG. And then last but not least, we actually have a couple new Dark Signer skills to talk about that maybe hint towards Kalin coming into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links sooner than we thought. So if you guys are excited for today's episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Leaks, as always, be sure to go hit the like button on the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. But of course, you can wait to like and subscribe until you watch the whole video. Without further ado, though, let's go talk about Lumis and Umbra and all of their skills for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links because there's a lot of their skills to talk about. So the first skill we're going to be talking about in today's video is called Mask Exchange. This is going to be a skill most likely for Lumis and Umbra because, as you guys know, these two characters, or these, use the Masked Beast Guardius deck. And basically a lot of these skills that are been added in the past update are most likely hinting towards the fact that these characters are coming into Duel Links as an unlockable thing very soon. Anyways, though, with Mask Exchange, add 1 Masked Beast Guardius from your deck to your hand, then return 1 Mask of the Remnants from your hand to the bottom of your deck. This skill can only be used once per turn and twice per duel. So if you guys don't know what this skill is talking about already, it is talking about these 2 cards right here. It's talking about the Masked Beast Guardius, which has been into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links for a long time now, and it's also talking about this card right here, Mask of the Remnants, which is also a card that is in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So both of these cards have been into the game for a while, so technically these new skills from Lumis and Umbra are basically support for this archetype, which is pretty cool. What's really nice about this skill too is the fact that this does help you against breaking with this deck, because as a lot of you guys know that ever played the Guardius deck, having Mask of Remnants in your hand is not what you want at all. And what that card is that it only activates from the deck, because with the Masked Beast Guardius, if we do just a quick rundown on this card cannot be normal summon or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by tributing 2 monsters, including at least a Tiki or Grand Tiki Elder or a 4-face beast. Once card sent for the graveyard, sent for the field to the graveyard, equip the Mask of Remnants from your deck to 1 monster in your hand. And if you guys don't know what the Mask of Remnants does, is that shuffle this card into its owner deck. So after you activate this card, you shuffle it to your deck immediately. Or if this card was put into play by the effect of Masked Beast Guardius, this card can be treated as an equipped card, control the equipped monster that is switched. So basically what's really nice about this skill is that instead of bricking when you open up with a copy of the Mask of Remnants, instead of wasting that card, you can basically use the skill to instead add a Masked Beast Guardius from your deck to your hand, and then return the Mask of Remnants for later so that you don't need to worry about that. This is a great way to make this a deck that, in Duel Links never been the best, but it gives it more of a benefit to be actually usable, which is pretty cool. So once Lumis and Umbra comes into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, whenever they do, this will be pretty cool to try out. Next skill we're going to be talking about is Mass Tribute. Return 1 card from your hand to the deck and then randomly play a Grand Tiki Elder or a 4-face beast from outside of your deck. You cannot summon any monsters other than Masked Beast Guardius during the turn you activate the skill. This skill can only be used once per turn and twice per duel. So this skill is actually pretty sick for multiple reasons, and I can honestly see this skill being used for unintended reasons, but I think Konami is kind of aware that people would have abused this skill for unintended reasons because, of course, it says right here you cannot summon any monsters other than Masked Beast Guardius at all right there. But still, this is pretty cool. Now we're gonna go, I'm gonna show you guys the 2 cards that it's talking about. So Grand Tiki Elder is nothing special, it's just a 1500 vanilla beast, and then we also have the 4-face beast right here, which is also another 1500 monster. That's literally all these are. They have no effect, they aren't anything crazy, and all this skill is just to basically summon them out so then you can use them as tribute fodder for your Masked Beast Guardius. Still, I could easily see this where because I don't think it says like that much restriction, so honestly I could see people using this as a way to like help you OTK. Like you get your board out of like 2 monsters on the field, and then you activate Mass Tribute, return 1 card from your hand back into your deck, and then randomly play Tiki Elder or 4-face beast. And once you summoned your monsters and you've already activated this skill, boom, bada bang, there you go, you got your 2 monsters already in the field, and you got your, you know, random 1500 vanilla beater ready to go. I feel like people are going to abuse the skill for that, because I don't see any ruling saying that you need to activate the skill immediately before you normal summon or set. So due to that, I could easily see some players play their normal deck, like for example, I don't know, play Iron Core. For that, Iron Core is a bad example, but play like, I guess, Ancient Gears. Play Ancient Gears, you summon your 1 Reactor Dragon, you need some extra firepower to go for that OTK, you could summon another Grand Tiki Elder or a 4-face beast with this skill right here. So if this skill is attainable for players, which it hasn't been confirmed or not, but if it is attainable for players, I could see people using this just for an extra beat stick to get your opponent's life points all the way gone. It's just that, of course, you can't summon any monsters after that, so you can't use the Grand Tiki Elder or 4-face beast for synchro material or fusion material, but still, really interesting skill. I'm very curious to see what the exact rulings of this skill is going to be once we get into the game, and I feel like they need to put a restriction where you only can activate this before you normal summon or set for that turn, but that's just me right there. Or maybe you need to have Mass Beast Asgardius in your deck before using the skill, or else the skill won't activate. Something like that, but I could still see the skill being, you know, used for other reasons instead of its intended use. Next up, we have Mask of Impregnability or something like that. Weird wording, but this can only be used in tag duels, so this gives us a good indicator that tag duel event's coming soon, and Lumis and Umbra should be participating in that. Anyways, though, it only can be used in tag duels during the end of your opponent's next turn. You take no battle damage. The skill can only be used once per turn. So most likely, you're going to be going against the skill during the event. Nothing too crazy right here, but I mean, hey, you take no battle damage if you were able to use this skill during the tag duel event, so very cool. The next skill we're going to be talking about in today's video is Mask of Restrict. Can be used if you control a Mass Beast Asgardius or a Mass Beast Asgardius. I have no clue why this skill's wording says the exact same card in or, but I've noticed that this text happened in both Duel Links meta, where I got this skill from, and some other discords that I checked where they also posted these leaks. I don't know why the translation's like that from Konami, but it's really weird. Nonetheless, though, if you control a Mass Beast Asgardius, you can place 1 copy of Mask of Restrict face up in your spell and trap cone zone from outside of your deck. This skill can only be used once per duel. So this card that we're talking about right here, Mask of Restrict, is an interesting card. And basically what it says is that no matter what the situation, neither player can offer a monster as a tribute, which is an interesting card. I believe this is one of the few mask cards that we actually don't have in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, so this is a brand new card. But honestly, I don't see this card seeing that much play. Currently in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, the current like meta decks don't really tribute summon that much unless you count Ancient Gears. And besides, if you even wanted to activate this trap card as it is, you're going to have to use it through the skill. And like the skill says, you need to control a Mass Beast Asgardius in the first place in order to activate the skill right away. So it's an alright card, but it's very situational, and maybe in the future when there's a meta that requires tributing all the time, maybe Mask of Restrict will help out a lot. Maybe if Monarchs become popular, because we're actually getting some new Monarch support in the newest box, so maybe if that happens, then this will be a good card, but currently I don't really see too much use for this skill and card at the moment. Next skill we're going to be talking about is Curse of the Remnant. When a monster is equipped with the Mask of Remnants that you control, that monster gains 1,000 attack. So yeah, basically, if you pop off with the Mask of Remnants effect, where if your Mass Beast Asgardian gets destroyed and you take one of your opponent's monsters and equip it with the Mask of Remnants, you get that stolen monster and you give it 1,000 attack points with this skill. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's a pretty nice skill nonetheless. And then the last skill for Lumis and Umbra that I have found so far is Spell Dispel. Select 1 spell card targeted by Mask of Dispel that you control. That spell effects are negated until the end of the next turn. This skill can only be used once per turn and twice per duel. If you want to know what Mask of Dispel does, it's a pretty interesting card. This card has already been in Duel Links, and it is a continuous spell card. Select 1 face-up spell card on the field. The controller of that spell card takes 500 points of damage during each of your standby phases. One selected card is removed from the field. Destroy this card. Honestly, the only use I could see with using Mask of Dispel combined with this skill is going against Ancient Gears, and that's pretty much about it. Honestly, though, this is not that practical because a lot of the spell cards that are being used in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links are mostly just quick play spells, from at least my knowledge on that. Still, though, there has been field spell cards have been popular in the time, and also you never know when some broken continuous spell card is going to be shaking up the game, so using a combo like Mask of Dispel plus negating it with a skill is going to be pretty handy, because 1, you negate their spell card, and 2, Mask of Dispel makes your opponent take damage, so it's pretty cool right there, and that's pretty nice. Now that we're done with all the skills for Lumis and Umbra, let's go move on to the next set of skill leaks for Yami Bakura. So the next set of skill leaks that we're going to be talking about today's video is from Yami Bakura, and the first one we're going to talk about is this one called Zork Appears. Roll a 6-sided die. If the result is less than the current turn count, play one Dark Master Zork from your hand. This skill can be only used once per duel. Honestly, this skill is really cool in my opinion. So before we dive into the skill leak, I forgot to mention that most likely these two skills I'm talking about for Yami Bakura are hinting towards another Yami Bakura event. We're either going to get like a super Yami Bakura event, or most likely what I'm thinking is that we're going to get another edition of the tabletop RPG event, and then maybe we can unlock some new skills for Yami Bakura. Still, this skill is really cool and could potentially be really powerful because, like the skill says, you get to special summon a Dark Master Zork immediately from your hand. So if you activate this skill on your turn 1 or turn 2, you have a pretty high chance of popping off with a Dark Master Zork immediately on the field. And as you guys know, Dark Master Zork, it's a 2700 attacking monster. You get to summon that for free, plus have a chance to pop all your opponent's monsters with Zork's effect is honestly insane. And I could easily see this skill being broken if we are able to attain this skill to the players, or if this could be event exclusive skill, who knows. Next skill we're going to be talking about, while I wasn't too sure if this is for Bakura because it doesn't really like hint towards that, I'm gonna guess it's for Bakura considering that we also had another dice rolling skill, and we don't have Duke Devlin and Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, so I'm gonna say that this is a Yami Bakura skill, but it could potentially be not, who knows. Anyways, those skills called Bravery Check. Select one monster your opponent controls if your opponent rolls a 6-sided die, and if the result is 3 or greater, the selected monster cannot attack during its next turn. This skill can be only used once per turn and twice per duel. Sick skill in my opinion. This is another skill that I could either see being an event exclusive or obtainable to the game, and maybe this will be a new skill that we're able to unlock for Yami Bakura in a future event. This skill is pretty insane. This is a great turn 2 or turn 3 skill, if I'm being honest, where you have the chance to stop your opponent from attacking with that monster. Of course, your opponent could just be like, oh well, I can't attack with my monster, I'll just tribute it off or something else. That could easily happen, or they use that monster for a synchro summon. So I don't think Bravery Check will be broken, but I bet it'll be definitely an annoyance and all that stuff right here. Also, Bravery Check is going to definitely help out stall decks by saving their back row. So yeah, Bravery Check is definitely going to be used for burn decks now thinking about it. But still, two really cool skills from Yami Bakura. Let's go talk about the Chaz skills that in today's video. Next skill we're going to talk about today's video is for Chaz. It is called Rage of the Armed Dragon. At the start of the third turn, CPU, if there is a space on the field summon a Armed Dragon level 3. My educated guess is that this skill is going to be for the Tag Duel event that has been leaked, and I'm guessing that this is just one thing that you're going to be able to use for the Tag Duel GX event, or whatever that case may be. Still, it's a kind of a neat skill. If we could get the skill in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links as an attainable skill, that'd be pretty neat, but honestly, this is most likely just a skill for the Tag Duel event that we're going to be getting in Duel Links sometime in the next couple months. Next skill that we're going to be talking about as well, I personally don't think this is for Chaz. I'm just throwing it in this segment of the video because it's just a miscellaneous skill and I just wanted to talk about it. Nonetheless, this is a skill called Worst of the Worst. If your deck has 5 or more level 2 monsters, different names, you can add 3 level 2 monsters are added to your starting hand. I personally have no clue how people are going to utilize this skill really well, but there's definitely an archetype in Duel Links somewhere where they are only level 2 monsters, and somebody out there, if you can use it, if we can obtain the skill for some random character, is going to love the skill because you get to start off with 3 level 2 monsters. Also, maybe this skill is hinting towards XYZ summoning coming very soon to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. A lot of people have been speculating in the community that XYZ summoning is coming to Duel Links very soon, considering there is so much cards that are really good for XYZ summoning that are coming to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, so who knows right there. But yeah, this is just a random miscellaneous skill that I found interesting, but it doesn't seem to be for any character that I could think of off the top of my head. Still, it's an interesting skill, and I thought it would have been a good idea to talk about it in today's video. So the final set of skills that I'm going to be talking about in today's video are these Dark Signer skills, and I am so excited to talk about these because 1, I want a Dark Signer event in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and 2, with the hints of Dark Signers coming into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, that gives it even greater chance of getting Misty Treadwell / Misty Lola into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and some of you, my subscribers, know I want that character so bad in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Nonetheless, though, I'm going to be speculating that most of these skills are going to be for a Kalin event that's going to be coming in the next couple months, so hopefully that's the case, and without further ado, let's go talk about these 3 Dark Signer skills. First one at the top is Fires of Revenge. You win the duel on your 5th draw phase. I'm gonna guess this is gonna be some sort of event skill and only usable for the NPC. Maybe in the Kalin event, if we do get one in the next couple months, maybe you have to beat him in 5 turns or else you lose right away. They kind of did something like this too with some of the previous events, like in the Hasselberry event, there was a skill that pretty much did the exact same thing. So I'm gonna guess that this is for a roaming, yeah, maybe like a roaming Kalin event or a Kalin Gate event, and basically the special duel in that Kalin Gate event is going against him with the Fires of Revenge skill, and you have to beat him in 5 turns. Pretty cool right there, and the only good thing about this skill is that it's hinting towards a count event coming into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. The other skill we're going to be talking about is offering to the Immortals. Summon 2 ceremonial tokens on the field, and then, or ceremonial tokens on the field, and then add to the hand an Earthbound Immortal. So this is most likely either this could be an attainable skill for the players, but I'm gonna guess this is an NPC skill, and you're gonna be seeing Kalin use this when you're going against him during the event. That's just my educated guess. So you're gonna have to be going against this against Kalin, and maybe all the Dark Signers, if they get their respective events, will also have these offerings to the Immortal skill, because this is very universal between all the Dark Signers right there. Pretty cool right there. Last but not least, we have preparations for the Dark Synchro. Summon onto the field that require monsters for the Dark Synchro. This one is very vague, but I am really curious if Duel Links is going to implement Dark Synchro summoning into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, because one in the TCG, okay, so in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, let me just backtrack. In the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, when they did Dark Synchro summoning, they actually kind of did this negative level things where you would have this like 10-star Dark Tuner and then this 2-star monster, and then you would take to the 2-star monster and subtract the level 10 monster to get a level 8 Synchro monster, or a negative level 8 Synchro monster, and that counted as the Dark Synchro because those kind of the reverse of light. So they did these kind of like negative Synchro summonings right there. I am unsure if they're implementing a system like that into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, because they actually implemented that system of negative Synchro summoning into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force games, but they never implemented it into the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG or OCG. In the TCG and OCG, we actually got the Dark Synchros that they used in the show, but they were just normal Synchros that required a Dark Tuner. I don't really know what they're planning to do with this preparations of the Dark Synchro, but it is a very vague but really interesting skill right there. Nonetheless, though, I am so excited for Kalin to be into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, because that's just one step closer to get Dark Signers, and Dark Signers are super cool, and hopefully Misty Treadwell gets added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. That'd be amazing. Nonetheless, though, I hope you guys enjoyed today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links leak video. If you watched to the end of this video and you haven't already, be sure to go hit the like button on the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content and other content from me. Road to 10,000 subscribers, getting closer and closer, and I'd really appreciate if you guys help me out with getting to 10,000 subscribers. Nonetheless, though, thank you so much for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, and I'll go see you guys in the next video whenever I decide to upload one. Peace out, guys.